Congratulations, you're allowed to reopen your business. But how do you do it the best and efficient way? Coming up now. Hi, I'm Oliver, CIBS Executive MBA and Startup Coach at AskMeStartUp.com. Now, as a disclaimer up front, this video will not go into details how to deal with the sanitization and all the regulations according to COVID-19 pandemic rules. We are focusing on the things you have to do in order to get your business up and running. Also, make sure to stay until the end of the video because I'm going to share with you the real-life data of 2 German cities that have just been reopened last week. One with a more touristic and one with a more business-oriented center, so that you can estimate how customers will return to your own city on a much better comparison level than just pure guessing. Before thinking about reopening, of course, please make sure you go to your local governmental offices and ensure that you have the right rules and regulations that apply currently. Because one thing is for sure, your business, once you reopen, is not going to be the same as it was when it was closed. Consumer behavior will be different, and a lot of new rules and regulations are currently in place. So that's why it is very important that the first thing you do is you make yourself aware of all the regulations that apply to you right now. Second, you want to be sure that everything is clean and assured so that your customers will not have any reasons for complaint. Then you want to make sure that everybody you need to reopen your business is healthy and stays healthy at all times. Now, from a business perspective, the most important thing, and that has already been relevant for you in the lockdown period, is your cash flow. So you want to ensure that whatever you do and however you plan the reopening, you're sure and ahead of the game on your cash flow at all times. That also means you are aware of how to plan the cash flow for your employees so that they have their wages paid on time and that they can use their cash as well again if they are having a job with you. You also want to make sure that your point of sale system, everything is up to speed so that you know exactly how to execute and how to scale up or reduce according to your real customer show up rate. If you look at what has already been happening in countries like Austria, Germany, Switzerland, China, you can see that there will be a spike at the beginning of the reopening because there is a huge demand for everything that had been locked down. I can tell you gardening centers had a big push. All the hairdressers and all the nail studios have had huge spikes, but now they have come down to a lower and more stagnant consumer show up rate than before. So you actually want to incorporate this type of behavior and have enough people and staffing at the beginning and then maybe reduce over the next week so that you are not overspending on your business right now. Also think about effective and intense marketing because people need to know that you are available for business for those that are able and willing to spend money right now. Furthermore, try to let people work remotely as much as possible. If they can do the job remotely from home, let them do this right now because it's safer for them, it's safer for you, and they will be longer with you in the business because they are not potentially affected by the virus. Because in some areas of the world, it is still not completely banned and it is still out there. And this is not a danger to be underestimated just because you're reopening business does not mean the virus has gone away. As your sales process is going to be different right now because there are a lot of social distancing restrictions, sanitation restrictions, disinfection stations everywhere, you also might consider doing your sales process a little different. An idea that popped into my mind was maybe you want to install a webcam showing the amount of customers currently in your store so that people are, more motivated to come right now because it's less crowded. So you can try to, stretch the amount of customers over day and not have them in peak times only. Additionally, you could use this technology or this webcam also to show that you're really taking every matter serious and that you are clearly taking the sanitation part very serious so that your customers are reassured that they can buy safe and healthy products from you. Now, be aware that due to today's social media and everybody having a phone with a camera, you are very likely to be exposed on the internet, and that will have a very, very bad impact on you. I mean, what you have to make sure is that the cost of reopening are not more than having it shut down and kept shut down for another week or two. What I mean by this is If you and or your employees do not properly behave and execute on what is required right now by the government and by the customers, they will very much expose you on the internet, causing your business to decline dramatically and rather go to your competitor than to you. Finally, one thing really to consider is the legal side, and I think that is more for our US viewers than it is for European users, but you want to make sure that you're not liable if one of your employees is caught up getting COVID-19 and claims it got it through your business. This is depending on state to state different, but just make sure your legal side is not getting you into bigger risks than reopening or staying closed would ever be. Now let's jump into the real life data from two German cities, Hamburg and Frankfurt, and let's have a look on how customers and consumers show up rates have been in those city centers. Let's start with Hamburg first, which is a more touristic area. The data that you see on the screen here now are data that are from the end of April, where the city was locked down until Sunday, 3rd of May, and then the first week of May, where they have been reopening. And you can see in comparison to the underlying gray average data from 2019 that about 50% show up rate has returned to the Hamburg city after reopening. Now that actually means that 50% of your potential customers are still not showing up and are still not in here at all. Things look different if you look at Frankfurt, because Frankfurt is a very business-oriented city center. It has the big banks, and it has a European Central Bank located in there as well. So you can see from these data here that prior, even in lockdown time during the week, customer and show-up rates on the streets were almost the same as 2019 on average, a little lower, but still not like 50%. When the reopening started, and that's the last week of May, you can see that they have almost returned to normal levels. So because now you have those people working in offices plus those people out there for shopping mixed together. The only big drop down that you can see is on the weekends, which actually means that people are still not very likely just to go out and expose themselves to a potentially harming environment or with too many people in a crowded city on the weekends, and they do their shopping most likely on different channels than they used to do it before. Clearly, consumer behavior is shifting. So you might want to adapt yourself and your business to the new reality. And by clicking on the video that is up on the screen right now, you can write a lean business plan to make it fast, easy, and very adaptable, so you up your game once the customers return. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.